My name is Rebecca Langston, and I was only trying to get a passport so I could finally take a trip outside the country. 32 years old, a freelance photographer, and I'd never left the US not once. When I walked into the passport office in downtown Atlanta, I had no idea my entire identity. Everything I thought I knew about myself was about to be shattered. The clerk behind the desk looked bored, flipping through my documents with the same enthusiasm you might use to sort junk mail. Then she paused. Her eyes narrowed at my birth certificate. "Rebecca Langston?" she asked, glancing up at me. "Yeah, that's me." I smiled politely, adjusting the strap of my camera bag. She typed something into her computer, and the silence that followed was unusually long. Then she frowned, picked up the phone, and murmured something to whoever was on the other end. I waited, my stomach tensed. There's a specific kind of silence that falls in government buildings when something's gone wrong, and I was standing right in the middle of it. "I need to check something," she said. "Would you mind stepping into that room over there?" That room was a small office with bare white walls, a computer, and a man in a gray suit who introduced himself as Special Agent Carter from Homeland Security. "Miss Langston," he said as I sat across from him, "can you verify your full name and date of birth for me?" I did, trying not to let my voice shake. He nodded slowly, tapping at his keyboard, then turned the screen around. "This might come as a shock, but according to federal records, you've been legally dead since 2015. I blinked. "Excuse me, you were reported missing in Colorado Springs in July of 2015. After 2 years you were declared legally deceased." "That can't be right," I said, almost laughing. "I've never even been to Colorado." He looked at me, unblinking. "Do you have any idea why someone might report you missing from there?" "No, none." He showed me the case file. It had a grainy photo of a girl who did look like me, same build, dark brown hair, even the same crooked front tooth. The name said Rebecca Langston, born July 11, 1993. "Where did this photo come from?" I asked, my pulse hammering. "It was submitted by a woman named Carol Langston." "Your mother?" "That's my mother's name, but she's never been to Colorado either. We live in Georgia, we always have." She filed the report. "We have her signature." I felt like I was watching someone else's life unravel. I reached into my bag, pulled out my driver's license, my social security card, even my freelance business tax records. I've been working and paying taxes. How could I be dead? Agent Carter made a call and requested verification from the Social Security Administration. After a few minutes he hung up and said, "Your social security number is flagged as deceased. That's why your passport application triggered this." It was like being erased in real time. I walked out of that building feeling lightheaded, my identity in question, my entire life suddenly hanging in the air like smoke. I called my mom the second I got outside. She answered on the third ring. "Hi, sweetie." "Mom, did you ever report me missing in Colorado Springs?" There was a pause. "What? In 2015? They said you filed a report saying I disappeared out there." "Rebecca, what are you talking about? We've never even been to Colorado." "That's what I said, but they have a signed statement, your name, your handwriting." They showed me the file. Silence. "Mom," she exhaled, "come home, now." I drove straight to my parents' house in Marietta. My mom was waiting at the door when I arrived. Her arms folded, lips tight. Dad was in the living room, pacing like he had already smoked half a pack. "Sit down," Mom said. "No, not until you tell me what the hell is going on." She rubbed her temples. "You weren't supposed to find out." "Find out what?" She looked at my dad, who nodded like he'd finally given in to something inevitable. "You were adopted," she said. I blinked. "What?" "Not in the normal way. We were trying to have a child for years. We had connections. A private channel. It wasn't through the state. One night we got a call. There was a baby, abandoned in a hospital in Alabama. No birth certificate, no ID. We took you. We gave you our name. But my birth certificate, forged. It was cleaner that way. We had someone who could help us." I sat down. My knees gave out. "So who reported me missing in Colorado?" "I don't know," my dad said. "But if they filed it under your name, it means someone else was using it. Maybe someone connected to your real mother." My head was spinning. "So I'm not who I think I am, and someone else, someone who looked like me, was reported missing, and now I'm the one listed as dead. Dad rubbed his hands over his face. You were never supposed to find out. We thought it was behind us. But it's not, I said, because now I don't exist. I went back to my apartment that night and locked the door behind me. For hours I sat at my kitchen table staring at the documents I thought proved I was real. All of it felt like theater props, IDs, pay stubs, even the diploma on my wall. If I didn't legally exist, what was I? I opened my laptop and started researching. I typed my name into a missing persons database and found it immediately. Rebecca Langston, age 22, last seen near Colorado Springs, presumed dead in 2017. And then I found something worse, a news article. Body believed to be missing, Georgia woman, found in remote Colorado area. No photo, no family comments, no follow-up, and no DNA match listed. Just a statement, believed to be Rebecca Langston. I slammed the laptop shut. Who the hell was buried under my name? Before we continue, let us know in the comments where you are watching from today and what time you are currently watching this video. If you enjoy stories like this, make sure to like, share, and subscribe for more. I didn't sleep that night. Every sound outside my window made me jump. Every thought led me back to the same question. Who was the girl they buried under my name? By sunrise, I had packed a small bag, camera, notebook, charger, water bottle, and a hoodie, and I was already on the road. I had one destination in mind, Colorado Springs. If that's where this mystery started, that's where I needed to go. I didn't tell my parents. I didn't even leave a note. Something in my gut told me they were hiding more than they admitted. I needed answers on my own terms. It took almost 21 hours to drive there. I stopped only for gas and fast food. My mind raced the entire way. I thought about that news article again and again, how vague it was. No one came forward to claim the body. No DNA was confirmed. They just assumed it was me. When I arrived in Colorado Springs, it was already dark. I booked a cheap motel off the highway. The room smelled like cigarette smoke and cleaning chemicals, but I didn't care. I had one goal. I lay on the bed and opened my laptop again, searching for the original missing person report. It had been filed at the El Paso County Sheriff's Office. I decided to start there in the morning. The sheriff's office was a quiet building with beige walls and a dusty reception area. An older woman sat at the front desk, her silver hair tied in a bun. "Can I help you?" "Yes," I said carefully. "I'm looking for information on a missing person case." "The name is Rebecca Langston." She typed the name into her computer. After a pause, her eyebrows lifted. "Wow, that case is old." "I know. I'm trying to understand what happened." "I'm her sister." I hated lying, but I couldn't explain the full story. "Not yet," she nodded. "Wait here a moment." 10 minutes later, a deputy led me into a back office. His name was Officer Green, mid-40s, worn-out jeans under his uniform shirt. He looked at me like he was trying to place my face. "You said you're her sister?" "Yes," I repeated. "I never met her, but I found out recently. My family kept it quiet. I just want to know the truth." He didn't blink, just leaned back in his chair and sighed. "Well, the report said she was last seen at a diner just off Highway 24. Some guy picked her up. The waitress said she looked scared, like she didn't want to go with him." "What guy?" "Never found out. No cameras outside, no license plate. She vanished that night. We searched for months. And the body," he paused. "Hikers found it almost 2 years later, up in Pike National Forest. Not much left by then. Just bones, a necklace, torn clothing. We matched it to what she was wearing the night she disappeared." "Did you run DNA?" He hesitated. "There was a sample, but no match. No family ever submitted anything. The name was all we had to go on, so it was just an assumption." He tapped his fingers on the desk.
"Yeah.
"But honestly, we thought the case was dead, until now." I stared at him. What if that girl wasn't Rebecca Langston? He tilted his head.
Sure.
"Then who the hell was she?" That night, I drove out to the diner they mentioned. It was still open. Maggie's Grill, a red neon sign buzzing above the windows. Inside, it smelled like coffee, grease, and old linoleum. A waitress in her 60s walked over to me.
"Can I help you on?"
I slid into a booth.
"Do you remember a girl who went
Missing from here?" Years ago, her name was Rebecca Langston. She stiffened, eyes narrowing. You a reporter?
Jules, just someone trying to figure out what happened.
She looked me over, her face unreadable.
You look like her. I froze.
You remember what she looked like? I'll never forget. She was shaking, asked to use the phone, but the cord was cut. Some guy came in after her. Tall, bald, sunglasses at night, gave me the creeps. I offered to call someone, but she just walked out with him. Did she say anything? A name?
She left a napkin behind.
Scribbled something on it.
Don't trust him. Jules, he gave it to the cops.
Never heard back. I leaned forward. Do you still have the security footage? She snorted. Honey, this place barely has working toilets. But Maggie, my sister, might have kept a copy.
She was obsessed with true crime.
Saved every tape.
She died last year.
But I haven't gone through her storage unit yet. Where's the unit?
Just outside of town.
But I'll warn you, it's probably junk. I'll take my chances. The next morning, I met her outside a rusted metal storage unit. She handed me a ring of keys. You're lucky I haven't cleared this place out yet. Maggie loved holding on to things. The unit creaked open. Dust floated through the sunlight. Stacks of boxes lined the walls, VHS tapes, old coffee mugs, piles of yellowed newspapers. I dug through until I found a box labeled Maggie's Grill, 2015. Inside were at least 24 VHS tapes. I grabbed the one dated July 8, 2015, the night Rebecca Langston was last seen. Finding a VCR wasn't easy. I bought one from a pawn shop and set it up in the motel. When I hit play, the grainy footage flickered across the screen. There she was, a girl with my face, same crooked tooth, same dark hair. She sat alone in the booth, biting her nails, eyes darting around. And then he walked in, a tall man in a dark hoodie, shaved head, sunglasses. He grabbed her arm. She flinched. He leaned in and whispered something. Her eyes went wide. I paused the tape. Her face wasn't just similar. It was mine. But that couldn't be. Unless she wasn't just using my name. She was using my life. I watched the tape again. Not because I didn't believe it the first time, but because I couldn't believe it. The girl in the video wasn't just a look-alike. She had my exact movements, how I tucked my hair behind my ear, how I shifted in my seat like the cushion was too lumpy, even the nervous way she bounced her leg. It wasn't just a coincidence. I had to be losing my mind. I rewound the tape and paused again when the man grabbed her arm. His face never turned to the camera. He whispered something in her ear, and she looked like she'd just seen a ghost. Then, as she stood to follow him, she glanced at the camera. Only for a second, she stared right into it, and I felt like she was looking directly at me. The next morning, I returned to the sheriff's office. I didn't lie this time. I need to talk to Officer Green. It's about the case from 2015, the one where I was reported missing. The woman behind the desk blinked. You were, what? I'm Rebecca Langston. She stared at me like I had just confessed to being Bigfoot. But eventually, she picked up the phone and made a call. Green showed up 10 minutes later, looking confused and concerned. You need to come with me. I followed him into the back room again. This time he closed the door behind me and pulled the blinds. You're saying you're Rebecca Langston, the same girl reported dead a decade ago? Yes. But that wasn't me on that report. Someone else was using my name. Where have you been all these years? I wasn't gone. I've been living in Texas, working, going to school. I had no idea someone filed me as missing or that I was even presumed dead. Not until I tried to get a passport last week. He scratched his head, muttering, "This is insane." I placed the VHS tape on his desk. I found this. It's from the diner where she was last seen. He popped it into an old player and leaned forward as it played. I watched him closely. His expression slowly changed from disbelief to shock. Jesus, that's you. No, that's not me. That's someone who looks like me. But you're saying she used your name? Yes. And now she's dead, buried somewhere in Pike National Forest, and I've been legally listed as her. He sat back in his chair. This is bigger than I thought. I want to find out who she really was and why she used my name. He nodded. Let's start from the beginning. Over the next 3 hours, Green pulled every record tied to the case. They had the original missing persons form, Anonymous tip from a burner phone. No fingerprints, no address, just a name. Rebecca Langston, age 24, Texas. My exact age. My home state. She even got my birthday right. It felt like someone had stolen me on paper. Then came the autopsy report. Female, early 20s, no ID found. Severe bone damage. Likely fell or was pushed from a height. And the kicker? She had a surgical scar on her lower left side. Green read aloud. I froze. I had the same scar. Appendix removal. Age 10. Wait. That can't be right. Green looked up slowly. You've got the same scar. Yes. His voice dropped. Are you sure you never left Colorado? Never had any missing time? No. I told you I've never even been here before now. We stared at each other. Something didn't add up. That night I sat in my motel room with the autopsy report spread across the bed. Every detail about the unknown woman matched mine. Height, blood type, even a childhood scar on her hand, same as mine from a fall on a playground in 3rd grade. It didn't make sense, unless someone had been copying me for years. But who? I logged into my old Facebook account, one I hadn't touched since college, and scrolled through old messages. Nothing strange, just friends, photos, tagged birthday parties. Then I opened my email. Buried in the spam folder was something odd. A flight confirmation from 2014, from Austin to Colorado Springs. I'd never taken that trip. I opened the email. The name on the reservation, Rebecca Langston, my email address, my name. But I'd never booked that flight. Who had access to my information back then? I started making a list. Old roommates, college friends, ex-boyfriends. And then I thought of her. Melanie. We'd shared a dorm sophomore year. She was quiet, always watching people. Borrowed my clothes without asking. Copied my homework more than once. But she had a sharp memory. She always asked strange questions about my family, my hometown, even the name of the hospital I was born in. It seemed innocent back then. Now I wasn't so sure. I searched her name. Nothing came up, not even a LinkedIn. I checked Instagram. Nothing. It was like she vanished. Then I tried a people search website. Her name popped up, but under 3 different identities. One of them had my birthday, and the address listed. A small town just outside Boulder, Colorado. I drove up there the next morning. The town was quiet, surrounded by mountains and pine trees. I parked near a small white house at the edge of town, the one tied to Melanie's name. I didn't go to the door right away. I waited, watched. Then around 3 p.m., a woman stepped outside to check the mailbox. My heart stopped. She looked just like me, shorter maybe, lighter hair, but the same nose, same jawline. She turned and our eyes met. It was like looking in a mirror. She froze, then dropped the mail and ran inside. I jumped out of the car. Hey, wait! I ran up the steps and pounded on the door. Open up, I just want to talk. No answer. I pressed my ear to the door. Nothing. Then something clicked behind me. I turned around and found myself staring down the barrel of a shotgun. Step back, a woman's voice said coldly. It wasn't her voice. It was older, deeper, and it came from behind the porch. Who are you? She asked. I'm Rebecca Langston. She stared hard at me. No, she said. You're not. I froze. The woman with the shotgun looked like she'd seen a ghost. Me, apparently. Her arms were steady, but her eyes were scanning me top to bottom, searching for something. I said, step back. I'm not here to hurt anyone, I said slowly, hands up, heart pounding in my ears. I just want answers. She tilted her head, still watching me, like I might explode. Where'd you get that name? It's my name, I said. Rebecca Langston, born March 3rd, 1992, Houston, Texas. Graduated from UT Austin. I'm not pretending. I didn't fake anything. She narrowed her eyes. She said you wouldn't come back. I blinked. The front door creaked open. The woman I saw earlier, the one who looked like me, stepped out slowly, her eyes rimmed red. Don't shoot her, Mary, she whispered. I think it really is her. My mouth went dry. I looked from one woman to the other. You're Melanie, I said. She nodded, stepping down from the porch. Her legs were shaking. That was my name back then. before everything. What did you do? I asked, my voice cracking. She didn't answer. She sat down on the steps like her knees had given out. And then she told me everything. We were in college when it started. Melanie had always been alone. No family, no records, barely even a past. She had a way of fading into the background, listening, watching. She told me how she used to watch me in the dorms, how I had everything she never did. Friends, family, safety, a future. She started copying me. It started with little things, same shoes, same perfume, same classes. She even started wearing her hair like mine. People joked we looked like sisters, but it wasn't a joke to her. Do you remember that week you got the flu? She asked. I nodded. Yeah, you brought me soup. I thought it was nice. She nodded, eyes down. It was the first time I saw your ID lying on the counter. I memorized everything. That's when I made the decision. I stared. What decision? I was going to become you. She said she flew to Colorado using my name, email, everything she had learned. She faked just enough of my identity to rent a room, get a part-time job. Then she vanished. On paper. And reported me missing. She wanted to erase me, and in a twisted way she succeeded. I sat on the porch, trying to process it all. You faked being me, reported me dead, and then disappeared. I didn't mean to hurt you, she said quietly. I just wanted to start over. But it got out of hand. That man, Carter, he wasn't supposed to find me. Who's Carter? The guy in the diner video, she whispered.
He thought I was someone else.
Someone he was looking for. When he found me using a fake name, he thought I was hiding from him.
Teens
went south. I tried to run. I leaned forward. Was he the one who killed the girl in the woods? She looked at me.
Yes.
But it wasn't me he killed. I stared at her, stunned.
What?
She pulled out an old photograph from her coat pocket. It was worn and creased, like it had been folded 100 times. The girl in the photo looked exactly like us. Her name was Danielle, she said. She was my sister. I couldn't speak. We were separated in foster care. I thought she died years ago, but then she found me. She tracked me down here. I told her everything. She wanted to help me disappear for good. So we made a plan. Melanie's voice cracked. Danielle agreed to pose as me. She even cut her hair, matched the scar. Carter was after me, but he found her first. My chest felt tight. You let your sister die in your place. I didn't mean for it to happen like that, she whispered. But when they found the body, I knew they'd think it was me, and I ran. I never looked back. She stared at me, tears in her eyes. I didn't know you were still out there. I thought you'd moved on, that no one would ever connect the dots. I felt like my body wasn't real anymore, like I'd stepped into someone else's nightmare. You ruined my life, I said. I lost a decade. I've had jobs turned down, background checks fail. I've been flagged at airports. My own name is considered fake. I'm sorry, she whispered. It felt hollow. Mary finally lowered the shotgun and stepped back inside. I sat there staring at the mountains in the distance. Melanie turned to me. You should go to the police. Tell them what happened. I already did, I said. But now I know the truth. I'm going back. Will you turn me in? I didn't answer. Back in Colorado Springs, I returned to Officer Green with everything. The photo of Danielle, the real story, the false identity. He took notes in silence, nodding slowly as I spoke. She's still in Boulder, I finished. She's not running anymore. You can find her. He leaned back in his chair, folding his arms. You know what's strange, Rebecca, he said. We reopened this case 3 years ago, quietly, but the more we dug, the less sense it made. The dental records didn't match, but we didn't have a living person to confirm it until now. He smiled faintly. Now we do. I signed a new affidavit clearing up my identity. They reopened the case under Danielle Harris, a new missing persons report, a fresh homicide investigation, and finally, after 10 long years, they changed my status in the system. Rebecca Langston, alive. A month later, I received my passport in the mail. My name, my picture, my life, mine again. I stood at the airport, boarding a flight for the first time in years. I didn't know exactly where I was going. Maybe somewhere warm, somewhere quiet. But I knew one thing. This time I was doing it under my own name. The real me, the only me. If you like this story, make sure to like and subscribe. also another to strengthen our community. Let us know in the comments where you are watching from and what time you are currently watching this video.